Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm Catherine Jones, Coach Cat, and this is my first YouTube live, and I'm using StreamYard. As you can see, the logos around the screen. So I think I'm really liking this StreamYard. So if you haven't tried it, try it out. Podcasting has come a long way since I started 12 years ago. I want to talk about the entrepreneur lifestyle. And I want to apologize because there were people who signed up for this class, and Eventbrite changed a little bit since the last time I was on. I didn't know that people were there. I thought I would get alerts. So I got some learning to do. I have a learning curve on an old technology that I've used, but they have some new things going on. So sorry. I will try to make it up to the people who have signed up so that they can get the content to help their business. I am offering this for free. I do charge for you to coach with me one on one. I would love to be your coach, but today's session is not a sales pitch, it is a classroom. So take out your pen and paper. Class is in session. Coach Kat is here, and we're going to talk about the entrepreneur lifestyle. I think the foundation of what we need to speak about is our mental capacity to stay in business. You're very smart, you're super talented. People said you should go in business. Whatever you're selling, people are going to buy it. You are needed in this world. You don't need me for that. You need someone, and it's stronger than motivation and inspiration because that wears off, but you need to be able to build a muscle that will allow you to overcome anything. Have you dealt with a bad day before? Of course you have. Before I get into that, before I get on a roll and teaching, with StreamYard, I am not directly on YouTube. So I'm not 100% sure how it's going to show up for me. So if you're there, say, hey, thank you so much for joining me. And if you're listening to the replay, thank you so much. And if you leave any comments or questions, I will happily come back later and answer those questions. Thank you so much, my husband. He's on with me. Thank you. Okay, so now I do know that I'm on StreamYard. And when my husband posted, it shows his name. So, honey, if you would do me a favor, keep an eye out on the comments out there on YouTube for me. I'm going to close some windows here so that I'm not messing up. Hey, Tamika, if you did not hear me apologize, I do apologize. I just discovered that you registered twice for this class, and it's an ongoing class, and I do apologize, but I'm going to give you so much value. It's going to make up for what I missed in my learning curve with Eventbrite. Thank you so much. So I'm going to close some windows here so I'm not messing up um, my technology because I've had some feedback, like when the technology, like your phone is too close to your laptop or Wi-Fi isn't strong. So I don't want any interruptions. I don't want any delays other than I think it is about a 10-second delay between YouTube and StreamYard. But other than that expected delay, I don't want to create any other delays. All right. I'll check the comments in just a moment. Let's get ready to roll. If you don't have pen and paper out, get pen and paper out or take notes on your computer or your phone, however you take notes. But my intention is to give you value. Now, if you don't know who I am, I won't spend a lot of time on it because we're going to spend some more time together. And I think a person gets to know you better by spending time. But just a little bit of my resume. I started out as Catherine Waddell. I just got married within the last 6 months. So I'm Catherine Jones. So if you Google Catherine Jones, she's still new. But Catherine Waddell has a little bit of a history in the media world as far as podcasting, public access television, online magazines, online newspaper, helping you tell your story, helping you to stay in business. I am a direct person. I am a no nonsense person. When you tell me something, I think you mean it, so I believe you. I don't assume that you want more than you ask for, or that you want less than you've asked for. Now, you may get less, but you have to tell me, hey, I didn't get all I asked for. I expect people to be direct with me. Most people aren't, but it's safe. I'm a loving person, and I only get upset with people when I can see that you can do so much more. Now, if you're doing your best, I'll cheer you on. Well, we're doing your best and we'll stay there. But most times we're not. We're not doing our best and we're not giving ourselves the best. So the entrepreneur lifestyle is about what you do for other people and about serving, but it's really about you first. It is about you making sure you're ready to show up every day. Think about it. If you're not in business for yourself right now and you're thinking about being in business, think about how you feel about going to your job. And you might love your job. You may have gone to school for that. Not many people have gone to school and got a degree and work in their field, but some people do. That may be you. But still, you may still feel like, ugh, on Monday, Wednesday, and happy for Friday. And I don't even know what it's like anymore to be happy for any one day over the other, unless it is Christmas or my birthday or Valentine's Day or something that is going to get extra celebration. But every day has the opportunity to be the day that you wanted to get up and do something. I think we live our lives where we have to do something, and wanting to do something seems like a luxury, right? It's not. It's not. There are consequences for doing what you want to do, and there are rewards for going along just to get along. Listen, I understand. I understand simple things like we in America drive on the right side of the road. So just because you don't like that and you want to drive up the left side of the road, that's the time that you're going to pay a consequence for not going along to get along. Okay? Going along to get along is not just agreeing to be in agreement with someone. It is going with what is working. And if you can make your way, make your mark, then do that without disrupting someone else's mark. Someone made up, drive on the right side, and we all do it. Let that person have that. They're long gone, but let that person have that. You come and give the world what you have. But do you have enough stamina? Do you have enough mental strength to do that? When I started with This Needs to Be Said Media 12 years ago, it was a concept. It was all of a blog. It was me looking at other people and giving my opinion and listening to other people's opinion and, kind of, looking and no, they didn't do that. Did you see that? Just talking. But then as time went on with the media company, the conversation became more meaningful because I realized while I like observing and pointing out the obvious in a funny way, other people have things to say. So I established the platform and I have helped hundreds of people. And I'm happy to say that I've helped hundreds of people to build their confidence. And we use podcasting, and now we have videos, and you could do anything now. And this is exciting. So the fence is down. The fence is down for me, but for you all that's getting started with your business and you don't know where to start or you don't know what's working, just keep going. Just keep going because this, where we are right now, for me, is like history in the making because 12 years ago, StreamYard didn't exist. YouTube Live did not exist. Facebook Live did not exist. I'm not making this up, and I'm not really that old in the game in a sense. So things have evolved. This podcast online thing is no longer limited to Netflix. So you have lots of opportunities, but lots of opportunities and not having the strength to meet all of those opportunities is where I come in. I want to make sure that just like you would go to the gym and do your routine with your personal trainer, that you're going to do your mental routine with your coach. Or if you're disciplined enough and you can do it on your own, do that. But a lot of times it's better in a group because you get to network, you get to collaborate. One idea breeds two or three or four more ideas. So to me, it's better in a group, but some people like to go it alone. And I did start out that way. And it took me a year and a half longer than it would have had I had friends along who wanted to be on this journey. Don't just drag anybody along. I did that too. So I have lots of lessons to share with you. As an entrepreneur, you're not better than someone who has a 9 to 5. You're not better than someone who went to college. You're not better than anyone. You're just an entrepreneur. And that's what you are wanting to do. Now, in the world we live in, you're going to hear the energy of an entrepreneur is in a better position than an employee. And I have tons of stories about how an entrepreneur has pros and cons, and being an employee has pros and cons. Let me do a check in. CJ, are you still able to hear me and see me okay? Let me know in the comments. So, as an entrepreneur, even though I'm doing what I want to do, I've chosen to be in business for myself. I've chosen to figure things out as I go along the way. It's not always easy, and I don't always want to get out of bed. And I can tell you some of the times as an entrepreneur when I don't want to get out of bed, when there has been an agreement broken, whether I broke the agreement or the other person broke the agreement. And even if we had to make an adjustment, it could be because what we thought the agreement was, we have a misunderstanding because what you said isn't what you meant, and what I said wasn't what I meant. Thank you. I'm glad everybody can still hear me. So, having to readdress things. In my world, for me, I don't get embarrassed easily. I'll keep asking a question until I get an answer. I'll repurpose the question, I'll revisit it, I'll reapproach, but I need to get an answer because what I do know is that if I don't get an answer, we're going to argue about all the things that I didn't understand. You're going to say, well, why didn't you ask me? Oh, I did ask you and you blew me off. But because I'm persistent, I'm going to keep asking because I need to be sure that what we're saying is what we're meaning to say, what we're demonstrating. Making an agreement with someone, I've learned it wasn't that way in the beginning. I learned that it's not Catherine, go and get what you see is good for you. It's how can this be a win-win for everyone? And it was hard at first to see what a win-win was because I wasn't thinking about the other person. As an entrepreneur, it's not like getting a job. You can pretend that last boss didn't exist. Don't put them on your resume. Don't give them the reference number unless the company you're going to has that software where they can pull up wherever you've worked. But in most cases, people have not invested in that. So it's a little easier to leave a boss off. But your reputation as an entrepreneur, you can't leave a boss off because someone knows who you worked with. And they don't have to ask your permission to get a referral. They'll go to the person that they know you last worked with and say, what was it like working with that person? And you don't get to call and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna have someone call you and tell them all good stuff about me. That's not the same thing. At a job, you can do that. And in fact, with the job, you call and say, do you mind if I use you as a resume? I'm applying for this job. That is different. But I'm out here, doing media and coaching people in their business. And if I'm screwing up, somebody's telling somebody without my permission. Am I able to handle when someone says, I heard you suck as a business owner? That might hurt your feelings to hear that. It hurts my feelings to say that because we're all a work in progress. But if you screw up my one time event, I don't, that it's hard coming back from that. Like being a pilot, you only got one chance to get everybody alive to their destination. That's hard to come back from. Mess up someone's wedding day, that's hard to come back from. Their prom day, any important moment, life or death or important moment, you screw that up for someone, and I promise you, they'll let the world know that you screwed them up. However, there is life after that because they don't know everyone in the world. They know everyone in their world and a couple of people in your world. So mentally, you want to avoid it. You want to hide. Just let's make it go away. As an entrepreneur, you don't become a new person. Whoever you are outside of a job, outside of a business, that's who you are. How you deal with problems is what you take into your business. If you avoid problems, you will avoid. Oh, I got you loud and clear. I got you. It's loud and clear. Good. Um, if you avoid problems in your personal life, you're going to want to avoid problems in your business. And avoiding problems in your business can have bigger problems. There could be delays. There could be a chain reaction because you didn't deal with this. It doesn't solve the other things that it was attached to. I have had to tell people some things that I didn't want to tell them, like, I can't keep my word. And that doesn't feel good. Even if you have a good reason, it doesn't feel good to say, I can't keep my end of the deal. However, rehearse it, rehearse it, rehearse it. Maybe you go to your job every day and you don't rehearse anything because they provided you a script and this is what you say. And if you get off track, here's how you get back on track with these helpful tips. Well, as an entrepreneur, you're building the track as you're walking it. You're carving the track out as you're going along, and sometimes you stop in the middle of work because you're tired and you don't know when you start back working where you're going to go because you're building it as you go. So it's a lot different. It's something to think about. If you get frustrated with people asking you a lot of questions, think about being an entrepreneur, because while you think that you're clear, my talk show, This Needs to Be Said, talks about the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room creates tension. And sometimes that tension is because it's something unspoken, or the tension can be there are more than just one point of view. There's more than just one point of view. So I wrote a letter and I sent it out to everyone, or I made a social media post, or I created a commercial, or anything I put in writing. And I said, oh, that was clear and nobody should have questions. I've looked over it. I've had people, check it for grammar and readability. It should be great. Well, I put it out there and one person says, hey, I don't get what you're sharing. Can you tell me more? Mm, what do you think a response should be when you think you're clear? I can tell you what it should not be. And think about this. If you're like me, you when you do go out shopping, because most of us are online and shopping and that's increased, but when you do go to the store and you're looking for an item and you can't find that item, you look for someone in the store that represents the store to help you find whatever you're looking for. I have a habit of asking for something that I can't see or can't find, and I've been looking for it. I believe I put forth my best effort, so I didn't bother anybody with stuff that's already available. I'm always standing next to the thing I'm saying, can you help me find? And it's become a joke to me because I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and ask somebody for help so this item I'm looking for can turn up. Well, as an entrepreneur, I'm not a store. People can't come shop me physically, but if they shop me online and they ask me questions that I know I just posted, I know I've shared it 100 times. Why didn't you see it? Instead of me saying to that person, it's right there, didn't you see it? I'm going to do like the people do me in the store. No problem. They reach right over my shoulder and hand me the item. They smile. And I say, you know what? I just needed you to hand it to me. That must be what it is. I have to learn to laugh at myself because otherwise I'd be mad. Maybe that employee, even if they say "Ah, it was right here, I still learn to laugh because you know what? I too would feel frustrated. Couldn't you see this? That's not the attitude of a business owner who wants a repeat customer, who wants a referral that's not going to give difficult time. That's not the attitude of someone who wants more people to love coming to do business with them. It's not pretending to be something you're not, because whatever you are right now, if you're okay with you, don't change who you are. You are probably already in the mental space that you're in love with and you're willing to live out. But if that's not you, stick with me. There's two activities I want to share with you, two programs I have attended myself and still participate in that has helped me. Now, I started by telling you I've been in podcasting for a while. I may have said 12 years. It's 12 years. And a lot has changed in 12 years. When I started doing podcasting, I didn't know what a podcast was. I didn't know who would listen. I didn't know how to market. Um, what else didn't I know? I didn't know a lot of stuff. So I started with podcasting. Oh, and customer service, forget about it because I got a lot to say. I'm very opinionated. And didn't you just see me post that right there? I'm on social media. I read the somebody gave me a guide. Maybe I signed up for a class, and this class said in marketing, you just post at 8, 12, and 8, and people will see it. So you inbox me and ask me about something I posted on the schedule. A couple of problems. You don't know I took a class. You don't know that the schedule is 8, 12, and 8. You don't know. As an entrepreneur, you are instantly an educator. Now, lucky for me, I went to school to be an educator, so I've seen it demonstrated how I'm supposed to act. So I could tap back into that. But then the other thing I could tap into is how I wish Walmart and Bojangles customer service would be. Oh, and McDonald's. I want them to be knowledgeable. I want them to be nice. And I want them to treat me like I'm coming from Chick-fil-A. My pleasure. So I know what I would like to have happen to me. And I have an idea what the school system says we're supposed to do in the world of education. Approach each of your students, each person that you're going to share information with in a way that best meets their educational needs. Now, how can I do that? By being in relationship with them, by getting to know them. Of course, when you start out with what you know. Like today, I'm starting out with just talking. And as I go along, Tamika and CJ and whoever I don't see that's listening today, they're going to eventually tell me how they learn best. And gradually I will adapt. I'm not changing who I am, but I want you to understand what I'm delivering to you. So I'm going to make the needed adjustments. I want that customer to come do business with me. So I'm going to make the needed adjustments. Am I selling out? Am I um, code switching? Am I changing who I am? Not at my core. But what I also like to share with people, it's not a surprise. We are not one dimensional. We are not a flat Susan and we're not a flat Stanley. We are multidimensional. And that means that you are different people within you, not crazy like a mental ill thing. It's when you're happy, you're a different way. When you're sad, you're a different way. When you're excited, when you're nervous, you're a different way. Now, what you have to figure out is when does each one of your parts need to show up? Do they show up separately? Do they show up together? What's the mix? So I'm not asking you to just be one person, but when someone asks you a question, I'm asking you not to be challenged. This person is asking a question because they didn't see it. That person is not asking you a question because you did a bad job. They didn't see it. You have to train people. Hey, I'm going to post things at 8, 12, and 8, but here's where you can find the link. So just in case you inbox me and don't get me right away, I'm not ignoring you. I may be busy, but here's what you can do in the future. But today, here's the link. And let's say they come back 2 days later and they forgot everything you told them 2 days later. You're going to pretend that they ask you, didn't I tell you that? Why don't you scroll up? I learned that people delete messages for whatever reason. I learned that people have short memories. I learned that people are very busy. They want your information. They want to do business with you. They want to connect with you. Don't make it difficult. Make it easy for them. I like to say this, and I'm happy my husband is on here because he's heard all of these stories before. But before I was married, I was single and I was a habitual dater. And in being a habitual dater, there's a personality that goes along with dating. And so a lot of times women among me and my single friends, we had a different approach. I won't call it a game, but you might recognize it as game. I had a different approach. They had a different approach. Some people chose to play hard to get. I played the game of getting the lunch, free lunch. And you say there's no free lunch. Yes, there's an exchange, of course, but I did not miss an opportunity to go out to eat. We can go to breakfast, we can go to lunch, we can go to dinner. I like to go out to eat, and that's not code for anything. I told you in the beginning, I'm literal. We going to lunch, we are going to lunch. No, you're not coming to my house. I'm not playing hard to get. I'm making it a win-win. You want my company, I want some food. So I'm gonna get company and food, okay? I've had some associates that play hard to get. They'll see him calling or see her calling and not pick up on purpose. But then they'll get mad that this person doesn't call them when they want them to call. It would help if you pick up the phone, period, when they call. If you would communicate with them, you're not thirsty. But I noticed that in business, why is this relevant, Catherine? Why are we talking about your dating life when you're married? because people treat their business like they're dating. Don't play hard to get. Don't be hard to find. Don't be hard to get along with. If you want to date, make yourself available for dating. You're not thirsty because you want to date. You make yourself available. In business, if you're the kind of person that plays hard to get, it's probably going to show up in your business. You're going to show up as someone who plays hard to get to, hard to get through to, hard to do business with. And people aren't going to beg you to take their money. They're not. They're not going to beg you. So if someone says, "Hey, Catherine, are you doing any coaching?" I better be ready with an answer, even though I've posted it, even though I've told my friends to share it on their social media and they agreed to do it. Whatever I think has solved this problem that has made you ask me a question, get it out of my head, because you came to me because you want something from me. And that's good because I got something for you. I'm marketing. I want you to do business with me. Apparently, you've seen my name come up, or someone told you my reputation is an educator and she'll help you. So you reached out to me. Do you all understand how many ways a person can see what you're doing? If you don't, let me tell you. Let me begin to tell you, because I don't even know all of the ways. When I started, there were no Facebook stories, there was no Instagram, there wasn't Messenger. You had an inbox that was attached directly to Facebook. So if you were on Facebook, you saw your messenger. It was all automatic. It's not automatic. You can have Messenger now and not be on Facebook. So you're talking every day to someone in Messenger and you want to know, well, why aren't you seeing my post on Facebook? Because I'm not on Facebook. Yes, you are. I talk to you in Messenger all the time. Okay, but I'm not on Facebook though. And to you, it's hard to imagine someone is on Facebook Messenger, but not on Facebook, because Facebook made them two separate apps. Okay. So when someone doesn't see it, don't try to prove that they're lying. Don't wear them down and show them how they're wrong. And this is how I know you saw my post. And oh, and let me let you know, in the inbox, if someone sees your post, or you assume they see your post because you see their little avatar, their little face drop down to the box you just sent them, that doesn't mean that they've read it or seen it or consumed it. That doesn't mean that they comprehended it. It doesn't mean they had time to respond to you. You saw my message. I know you saw my message. Listen, I'm not telling y'all something that I heard. I'm telling you stuff I've said to people. And I've been checked. I've had to check myself. Someone else says, come on, this is this. And you get educated. Confront someone, you'll get educated. You'll lose a client. That's education. People will talk bad about you. That's education. Or someone will just educate you. Hey, it doesn't work like that. They may not tell you it doesn't work like that anymore, because they may not know that. They just know that they have Messenger and they don't have Facebook on their phone. Maybe you send someone an email. If you are in a Gmail account, please check your primary, your social, your promotion, and your spam. They sent it to your one email address, but in Gmail, it can land in any four places. You say, well, I didn't get your email. So what I usually say, well, I didn't receive your email. What email address were you sending it from? I would also ask, what am I looking for? What name am I looking for? Any keyword, so I can do a search, because in your Gmail, there is an opening for you to search, and I can put in that person's email address or their name, and I'm able to connect with the information that they sent me. Sometimes things bounce back. Sometimes the email address was typed wrong. I'll say, let me make sure you have the correct information. Back in the olden days, before cell phones, we would say, well, let me make sure you have the right phone number. Let's write that down again, because back in the old days, you could mistype a phone number. Now you save it in your phone and it's their name. So technology evolves. The thing about being an entrepreneur, if you did not enjoy school, entrepreneurship will be fun until you have to get down to the details, like admin work and studying a trend to see if it's a trend. If it's something that's a phase. A phase and a trend aren't that long, that are not the same. A phase is a phase. You see it fizzling. A trend is something that's gaining momentum, and you're not really sure that it's more than a phase until actually you go through it. But you have to be paying attention. Let's say you start your business and you want to do, let's say you're going to do basket weaving, whatever. So you're going to be the best basket weaver, and everybody's going to come in and buy from you, right? But what happens if the next person who's been studying you, because please believe, while you're walking, someone's watching. While you're talking, someone's listening. You're someone's teacher, whether they are directly talking to you or not. So I'm over here, I'm basket weaving. I started me a basket weaving business. Well, someone's watching me basket weave and they thought, well, what if I had a basket and some flip flops? Well, I didn't know there was going to be a basket and flip flop trend because I'm still doing my thing. It's still working for me until one day it's not. And I don't know why, because I hadn't been studying. I just been working. You can go to your job and get away with not having to study too deep because the owner of the company and your managers are to pass down information. Now, let me say this, because I know somebody saying all managers aren't good and some people don't need to be in charge. I get it. I've worked jobs. I've worked a lot of jobs before I became an entrepreneur full time. Um, Managers give you the information. That's their job. Whether they hand it to you, email it to you, demonstrate it for you, their job is to hand it to you. Your job is to take it and make it do something. So if you're complaining that the manager isn't a good manager, hmm, oh, hmm, it's not up to the manager to make sure you keep your job. So the manager may not be doing a good job, but you need to find a workaround so that you can do a good job. Because if you've been on any job, they'll change a manager out and keep the team. You have a whole so the manager hands you information, the manager has done their job. However they distribute it to you, they've done their job. It's now your responsibility to consume it with comprehension and ask questions where you need help. And that's either asking questions among the other people who need to figure this information out, like your teammates, or asking that manager. But life isn't figured out. We're figuring it out. So getting a job or being an entrepreneur, one isn't better than the other. There are things to figure out in either one. As an entrepreneur, if you don't have the stamina, you don't have the mental strength, you don't have the organization to say, okay, I want to run my business, but where am I going to make space for continued development, personally, professionally? Where am I going to make room for this? Because the jobs I've worked on, my manager would let me know that every quarter or every month we have a meeting, we have a training, you have continual education, whatever it is. Somebody tells me, and I don't have to worry about it. Now, I'll write it down now that they tell me. But as the boss, you're the one creating the training or connecting them with the training, informing them about the training. Well, it'll be you in the beginning, but it's all up to you. So when I thought any idiot can run a business, they're right. Any idiot can run a business, but not any idiot can stay in business. So PQ, positive intelligent quotient, is one of the programs that I've been participating in. And what that is, if you've heard of emotional intelligence or the tapping exercises, or vision boards, visualization, any of those things are in the area of mental fitness, mental exercise, strengthening your mental muscle, the muscle that you can't take out to the gym and make sure it has strong muscles and abs and nice looking thighs. You can't do that with your brain that way. Reading books, you might say, well, I don't like reading books. That's not the only way to consume information, but you have to educate yourself. I'm in the media world, and when podcasting came around, no one really knew what it was. And it wasn't largely accepted because it's the new kid on the block. I was a part of a Black journalist organization, and I thought I'll be a part of this organization and I will scream out and champion podcasting. And they told me, sit down, be quiet, and go along. And then I thought, there must be a group of us out here that can meet together. Well, there is. I didn't capture them, but it's the podcast movement. And I thought, man, they're having a conference and people are buying tickets and traveling to go see them. And oh, wow, didn't see that coming. Well, what I did learn is sometimes I did not have enough to keep going. If I wake up in the morning and I'm not feeling my best self, then I can go back to bed. I can go back to bed. Or I can just take the day off and do nothing, sit in the house and be in the dark and just not deal with today. I will deal with something else another time. That's what not having the strength of your mental muscle will do. It'll let you just give up and give in. So positive intelligence helps you take time out like you would at the gym. You go to the gym and you say, okay, I'm going to be in here for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Going in what the plan is. I got this much time to work out. And you have a goal. I have to go this many times to get this result. And then I move on to this next thing for this much time to get this result. Well, the same thing with your mental capacity. You got to give it something every day. And I know we're all about self love right now, and we're taking spiritual baths, and we have crystals and gems, and we're, putting, you see my road back there. I got to figure out how the camera goes. Ha. But you see the road behind me on my picture. And we're just putting beautiful things around us, or things that will take us to another place. And okay, but what does that do about getting you out of the bed? Well, this road that you see behind me, sometimes I can mentally travel and take myself on a trip. I can get away from what's the problem right now and let it dissipate. Let it just evaporate. It's still a problem, but what I've learned is that the problem, me being angry, pissed off, hurt, upset, sad, too happy, too excited, too successful, cannot drive the car, because the level head needs to drive the car. The excitement, the negative energy, whatever it is, it can be on the passenger side. Think about when you have excitable energy, whether it's bad or good, excitable energy. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you're ready. "Argh," instead of saying, let me practice at home how not to cuss people out on the road. I was saying earlier about you practicing or not practicing for your job, but in business, you want to practice hard conversations. I've had to tell people, that plan that I put out there that you're participating in, that you've put money in. I can't keep my word on it because it's not working out. I failed. And it's hard. It's hard to admit to yourself. It hurts to fail. And somebody somewhere with stronger mental muscles than me says, no, it doesn't hurt. It's a lesson. It's a gift and an opportunity. Okay. Well, to the people who are like me, still, it's going to take me some work. I'm going to have to do some mining to find the gift and the opportunity in this thing I thought was going to work, and these people I want to work with again. And now I'm too ashamed to approach them because I didn't know if I could have the right effective conversation with them for them to like me after I tell them I failed me and them. They don't care about me failing me, but failing them. They put money up. They had a loss, and they have to go through that. And the consequence of taking a risk sometimes is you lose. And it's not the people, because what I did learn out of my fear is that people, they're not going to be mad at you. Just talk to them. Some people may distance themselves from you, but if you're in business, a lot of times you're not friends, you're business associates. So you're you just say, okay, well that opportunity, got by me, got away from me. Maybe at a later date we can revisit it with a stronger plan, and maybe they'll want to do business with me, or maybe you'll discover, or maybe they'll discover y'all weren't the right fit anyway. We don't know all the answers. I don't tell people that I know all the answers. I don't try to know all the answers. I look for different answers, because if you only have one answer and you only try to do it that same way all the time, you'll find yourself stuck a lot because you only have that one way of doing it. This is the way we've always done it. This is the way that works. Collaboration and networking with other business owners, other people who are thinking about being in business, helps you to expand your point of view. You still get to have your point of view, but it helps you play chess. It helps you know that when I show up as me and that person shows up as them, this is what I need to be prepared for. Now, you can't know that if you don't know the person, if you haven't interacted with them. You can't know that. But after you have interacted with them, your ego starts to say who's supposed to be the top, who's supposed to be the top dog, who's supposed to be the leader. That's ego. But what relationship would say is, what is this person trying to communicate to me? I hear them saying things, it's making me feel upset or angry or hurt or indifferent. But if I could pause and put those emotions over in the passenger seat for a little bit, can I hear what they're trying to say to me? And if I take that advice, I have found the gift and the opportunity. But ego says, I have a right to feel what I feel and think what I think. But in business, you have to ask yourself, while you do have the right to feel what you feel and think what you think, am I willing to pay the consequence for doing that? So what I've developed are associates that I can talk to that understand that sometimes I just need to vent, and at the end they can say nothing, or they can give me some feedback to help me not get stuck in this space. But I have partners just for those conversations, because as a business owner, you don't have a meeting to go to every month with a group of people. When you start out, it's just you. Who are you meeting with? And you think you're right. So if you meet, y'all have the meeting and everybody's wrong and you're right, you're stuck. But if you get with peers in business, and don't get to the point where you're saying, "Oh, don't do business with Susie because she sucks." It's not like that. You can leave names out. You're really wanting to address my feelings in this and how can I proceed in business? And a lot of times when your energy is messed around, don't proceed in business in that moment. Take a time out for that particular person, that particular situation. Catherine, I can't. I have to finish this project. I'm at a deadline. Well, this is a lesson for a future situation, because what do you do when you need a timeout? Did you not build in timeouts? Did you not give yourself enough lead time with this project so you can take a timeout? You have to know yourself. You have to know if you are only good for 4 hours and those 4 hours must be in the morning. Don't get up in the afternoon thinking you're getting ready to do amazing things when you know better. You got a bad attitude in the afternoon. You don't like people in the afternoon. Don't do business then. I get you probably were raised like I was raised. You don't get to just do what you want to do. Well, you do, but you have to be willing to pay the consequence. So I'm just going to jump right in. If you're paying attention with me, just rub your fingers together till you feel the ridges. This is my answer to when we don't have time to take a break. We didn't build in time. We didn't know to build in time. I did something wrong. I didn't know I did something wrong. I feel bad. I got this messed up. And a mistake is not how we've made it. A mistake is an opportunity. The mistake in not building in enough time is next time I do a project, I will make sure I add in a little more time than I did this time. Instead of saying, I'll never do this project, I'll never do another project like this. How many times have you decided not to do something again? You know what? If it's going to be like that, do it again. You're cutting yourself off. You're cutting yourself off because you don't know how to deal. You don't know how to reimagine. You don't know. And it's not bad that you don't know. I have some buddies that hang out with me and they're called should have and what was it? Should have and supposed to. Should have and supposed to hang out with me and they tell me what's supposed to happen and what should have happened. And I tell you, I get in a tizzy every time I hang out with them. What should have happened? Should is a bad word. What is this doing? Well, when I'm paying attention to rubbing my fingers against each other or rubbing it against any surface and really paying attention to what I'm feeling, even just rub your ears. It feels good too. Don't wait for somebody else to massage you, you know, but it helps you and it feels good. Rub down your face. Ah, it feels good. Just, you know, feel yourself, love yourself. And if you really love yourself, think better thoughts. And I'm not saying um, give yourself an affirmation meal and today is a good day and I'm going to quote and chant that over. If that's where you're starting, that's great. Build from there. But I'm asking you to take your mind to the gym just like you would take your body to the gym. Okay. I want you to submerge your mind in things that's going to help it unlearn the things that have not helped you. And here's another thing, when you go on vacation, you don't go to the same place all the time. You may have a girls' trip or a guys' trip, but y'all don't go the same place. You might decide this year we're going to Jamaica, next year we're going to Essence, and after that we're going to Dubai, and after that we're going to Egypt. Whatever you're planning to do, you may be doing it with the same people, you're just not going to the same places. Same things with thoughts. You're the same person, but you don't want to always take the same trip. You already know if someone does this thing, they can get a piece of your mind. You already know what will set you off. You already know who can get cussed out and for what reason. I wish they would. You already know. So why don't we try it a different way? Why don't we try not to cuss them out? Why are they making us cuss them out? What in us makes us think that they want us to cuss them out or say negative things to them or scream at them or be sharp with them? What makes us think that? And if nothing in us reasonably makes us think that they would enjoy us lashing out at them, oh, they did that on purpose. How do we know they did that on purpose? We don't know. Ah, Catherine, you letting people off the hook. I know you saying it because I said it. I'm not letting nobody off the hook. They see them doing what they doing to me, you know? And you could be right. You could be right, but I wouldn't jump ahead of the train. I wouldn't wait for the confession either. I want to make sure money in the bank for later, and I have to determine the value of this person. Now, if I say this person is not valuable, then my lesson is I need to make sure that I'm vetting my people before I decide they're valuable in my life. Because how do you get rid of somebody if they're valuable to you? If something's valuable to you, ladies, maybe everybody isn't like me, but if there's something that I like, a t-shirt or an outfit, I know guys are good for this. They could use lose the waistline on a pair of underwear and they want to keep them. We find a way to repurpose and reimagine something we don't want to let go of. So why do we let go of people so easily? Because we didn't vet it for value. That item that you don't want to let go of, when you bought it, it was valuable. It was intact. This relationship with this other business associate may be wobbly. Ask yourself, do I want to keep doing business with them? I don't want to keep doing business with them if they ain't gonna act like that. Why do they act like that? What are they trying to tell you? Sometimes people are experiencing things in their lives that I know you're not a therapist and you don't have time to work out for them. But if you don't take the time out, you're going to see a decrease in business and you'll see a decrease in your bank account. If you have good relationships with people, even if you can fall out and you're good, if you're the kind of person that can fall out with someone and come back and reconcile, then that's the kind of person that I would want to do business with. I know that if I fall out with you, it's going to be some tension. We got to go and reflect and respond. And that's if we plan on working together again. At a job is a good way to teach you how to fall out with somebody or get your feelings hurt at work and you show back up, because a job is like an obligation. Being an entrepreneur almost feels like it's optional, but it's not. You have the same obligation except for you're the boss. At your job, they have what, coaching and counseling. You might be mad at your boss. I can't stand the boss. They wrote me up for me not doing my job or for me not understanding. But I bet your butt will learn. So you won't get wrote up for that again, right? So in business, like I said, people will check your references without your permission. So you have to be prepared when someone comes to you sideways. How do you get yourself back to your center? How do you do that? And I love everybody who loves God and believes in King Jesus. Okay. I'm not saying as long as you got King Jesus, you don't need nobody else. That's not what I'm saying. Because sometimes, and you know it, you'll lay your cross down. So Jesus is still there and he's still the king, but you're not hanging with him right now because you're gonna give them a piece of your mind. How dare that? All right. So what do you do when you lay your cross down? How do you keep yourself out of a conversation that's gonna have your personality, your reputation questioned? Because you showed them something that they didn't know you were willing to give. And so they give you the consequences of you mistreating them or making them feel any kind of way. Then think, would I want someone to come to me, even if they're mad? Would I want them, feel like people, words are beating you up, right? I like word slams when I'm doing quick-witted things and it gets a joke. But then there are times I play too much, I go too far, and I have to know that one went too far. But the consequence I'm willing to pay is I know how to clean that up, because I'm not saying things to people that I can't say to their face. Um, and if they say something back to me, I'm like, "Well, how dare you talk to me that way?" I expect people to be quick with it back. So everybody isn't that way, and I have to accept that everybody isn't that way. I'm going to pause for a second. You can do some PQ reps, feel the ridges of your hands. CJ, do you still hear me okay? Tamika, are you still with me? Are there any questions? Any comments? Maybe you have a business question that has nothing to do with what I've talked about, but you're here for it. Ask those questions. Get your questions answered. When you don't have money, you have time, and time is your money. Get your money's worth. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. This isn't the only thing that PQ is about. It is an exercise that you do. It's a total of 15 minutes, but it's spread out through the day. And you start your day out with it. So you get out of your bed. Good morning. I'm starting my day. So you spend time getting yourself together. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. Thank you. You spend time getting yourself together. You got maybe a difficult meeting. Maybe your stomach is hurting over a conversation you have to have, whatever. But you know you have to have it. And maybe it sounds crazy, but practice the conversation. Don't practice it with anyone. Write it down. Talk it out. I rehearse things before I talk to people. I learned to do that. I haven't always known to do that because I used to just say what came to the top of my head. And sometimes I'm not ready. Sometimes I'm not ready to pay the cost, the consequence for talking off the top of my head. So because I'm not always willing to pay for whatever just flies out, I'm going to practice it. Especially if it's something like we had an agreement, we had a contract written up, and there are things that I can no longer meet. And I have to tell you that. And these things are very important to you because this is what made the deal a win-win for you. And now I'm telling you, I'm not able to help you anymore. I'm not able to proceed. Something happened. Whatever it is, I got to tell you bad news or disturbing news. Hmm, that's hard. You got to practice that. And what I found out is by the time you practice it, the first thing you're afraid of is what's going to come out of your mouth because you don't know and you're not prepared for what the other person is going to say. So you don't have a back and forth. So let me be clear, when you're practicing it, you're also practicing what the possibilities are of responses. I say, hey, I have to breach our contract. That person might say, you knew you was going to do that. You got from me what you wanted and then you shortchanged me. That could be a response. Maybe nobody's gotten anything. Maybe we've delayed it, and the time that I needed is has passed, and it's no longer a win-win for me. So I'm backing out because I no longer want to just give to you because I'm not going to be able to get what I want. That's kind of hard, and it sounds selfish. That's a hard conversation, and it's hard for that person to call you or send you a text and tell you that they can't keep their end of the deal because in your ego you're saying, "Why didn't they call me? Why didn't they talk to me? They must be lying." Get rid of all of that. Be glad they told you. Process it. What are some alternatives? Anything could happen. Maybe something embarrassing happened in that person's life and they're not ready to share. But if you maintain that relationship, even after the breach, you probably will find out what happened. Hey, Catherine, a year ago, what was going on? And I couldn't talk to you about it. I'm in a better space. And this is what happened. So, relationship says, I'll give you space, I'll give you time. I won't take this as the end of the world. It's not to our detriment in business. Let's try to pick another project that we would both be great at together. It took practice to get there. I'm not telling you that these things came easy. I've been working with emotional intelligence for 12 years. Mental toughness, if you Google it, usually points to athletes. And while I'm not an athlete physically, I'm an athlete mentally. So some of the mental toughness things happen. And I watch biopics a lot. And one movie that I watched, wow, I'm gonna mess up his name. Honey, tell me his name. Was it no, it wasn't just what was his name? Anyway, it was a biopic about the first Black guy to run track, and I know his name, and I can't think of it right now, but he was the only Black, and they weren't calling us Black. He was being called whatever they felt like calling him, and he was asked not to take this opportunity. He didn't know what was going to happen, but he had a desire to be in the Olympics. And in one of the scenes, it was a hard thing to think about. Well, a couple of the scenes. One of them was where the pastor came and talked with the family and told, I think, was it Jesse Owens? Jackie? I'll figure it out in a minute, or either you all know who I'm talking about. But the point was, the Black community was saying, "Don't do this. They're only using you. They don't even love you. You're gonna go represent a country that doesn't even recognize you as a human." Yeah, and he saw this opportunity as more than color. He got his feelings hurt because someone called him the N word, and he wanted his coach to come to bat for him. And you see what they're doing to me, make them stop. And the coach said, "You think that this locker room is hurting your feelings? Wait till you go out there in the stadium. They don't want to see you. They don't care how good you are yet, because they don't know how good you are. They won't like you or love you until they know how good you are." Jesse, thank you, Tamika. Was it Jesse Owens? Is it Jesse Owens? So that's sending chills through my face right now. Like, if you can't take one-on-one someone hurting your feelings, how will you handle a stadium of people? How will you handle a street of people? How will you handle a team of people who just don't like you just because you're standing there? Not because you've done anything, but they did start cheering for him after they saw him perform. But he didn't know that was going to happen. He could have gotten killed. He could have gotten hurt. No one wanted him there, they thought. So you don't know if what you're doing on your job or even in a business is going to help you, um, or hurt you. You don't know. So as you are, and being an entrepreneur, let me put this little note in. As an entrepreneur, whether you work a job or work for yourself, it's in you. It's part of who you are. As an entrepreneur working on a job, you will, thank you. Um, you will find ways to be a CEO of you, because you are the CEO of you. When you put your resume out there, you're telling them, "This is my track record. This is how I can prove that I have the skills to bring to your company and help you move forward." A couple of things that I did as an employee that displayed or demonstrated my CEO of myself was, I didn't like the schedule. I got hired and I told them yes to everything. Yes, I'll come to work on time. Yes, if you tell me to travel. Yes, if you change my schedule. Yes, yes, yes to everything. Hire me, please. Give me the money. Well, I got the job, worked the job, and me and a couple of people on the job decided we didn't like our schedule. And it was, to me, it made sense. And it might make sense to you. If you had the opportunity, I don't, let me back up. If you worked a schedule where, in essence, every 2 weeks you work 7 days, but they broke the 7 days up where you worked one day of the week, one week, and the next week you work 6 days. You're getting paid for those 7 days. So it's not a break in pay cycle. These were things we had to think about when we presented our case. That's why I'm saying it now. But we wanted to just work 7 days straight. Now, the average job, you get 2 weeks when you start new, you get 2 weeks and you get a handful of sick days. Well, this was the same deal when I told them, yes, hire me. Yes, I'll come on time. And yes, whatever you say and pay me. But then I decided, well, yeah, they're going to give me 2 weeks, because what was happening is we were using up our vacation time. I think that's what triggered it. And it was almost unnecessary because we would use a day here, a day there, day here, day there. And every month I could have 2 weeks of vacation if I wanted to, 2 weeks of time to do something else. And so it served a lot of benefits for me. And I don't know what it did for the other people, but I needed them to be on board with me because it was going to affect our entire schedule. So we put our heads together and we asked, and then the other thing was we saw it working. So we had proof that we would still be able to do our jobs effectively and efficiently with the new schedule. So as a CEO, that's the kind of stuff you do. You come up with a strategy. You think of the strengths, you think of the weaknesses, you see the opportunities, and you see the threats. Business is business. So we got the schedule we wanted. We worked 7 days on, 7 days off. So if you like to travel, you now only work 26 weeks a year. Ha! But it took us being brave enough to ask, because they gave us what they wanted us to do and they were going to pay us because we agreed to it. But when you start a job, when you're working on a job and you see that something could be better, your mind might think, well, they've been doing this, they know what they're doing. And I'm not saying anyone's stupid, but it may have worked when they started. but things evolve. It no longer needs to be that way. Does it need to be that way? Like, for instance, if you're working in the medical field, you need to be there. So you don't get Christmas off if you work Christmas. You gotta, someone needs to be there. It can't just shut down and we're not going to sell coffee today. No, humans need 24-hour care. So if you work with humans, holiday comes up, you're spending holidays at work. So it's not always that you can switch your schedule solidly or permanently like that. You may network business. You may network with your peers, and you all know you cover for each other. So I might pick Tamika and say, Tamika, I'm going to be off on Wednesday. If you can fill in for me, what day can I swap with you? Tamika thinks about it. It could be a win-win. See, business, we're on a job, still business, still negotiating. She says, it won't work for me this week, but can you do it for me this time? And then we can swap there. My feelings might be hurt. My ego said, why she can't do it the way I want to do it now? Or my opportunity could be, let me see who else is in my network and see if they can cover this time, or think, do I really need to do this time? Can I go with her idea? We got 3 ideas out of my 1 idea from networking. So working on a job and working for yourself has a lot of similarities. You're not on a job, you're not as a robot on the job, you're not a cog in the wheel, you're not a dummy, you're not less than. You're somebody there helping somebody grow their business and do the best job you can to help them grow their business. They may never remember your name, they may never remember where the new idea of the new schedule came from. It may not. Because what happened after us is everybody who was hired after us fell into the new schedule. So I'm sure they're probably still doing it unless they had another meeting and changed the schedule, or they had an opportunity to switch it back the way they wanted it. I don't know. Not my business now, but when I was there, I wanted it to work for me. Um, Another opportunity. I'll think of another opportunity. So listen, what I want to do is every Wednesday we'll meet here at 10 a.m. So check me out here, subscribe, make sure that you um, sign up for the notifications so that you'll have them. I'll still have the sign up on Eventbrite. On Eventbrite, I can email you, so we're connected that way. I just want to put that in before I forget about it. So I'm not wrapping up just yet. It does sound like a wrap up, but I want you all to know I'm grateful for you being here, and come prepared with questions. Your time is money. Get your money's worth. I've been doing this for 12 years. I have not worked a job in 12 years. So either I have accepted being homeless, or I have accepted whatever I have accepted, I have not gone back to a job. So I'm someone you can trust. I'm someone who's been tried and tested. I'm someone who's had ups and downs. I'm someone who's going to be in business to the day I take my last breath. I have been trying to have a business since I was a kid. I remember maybe my first business, I was maybe 8 or 9. Cupcakes for 25 cents door to door, selling cupcakes. My mom was my baker and I was the salesperson. I'm going to go out there with my tray wide open, going to sell me some cupcakes. I ain't really like that one too much. My arms got tired. You got to hold the tray out. And I was little and I was licking off the icing on more of the cupcakes than I was selling. They probably saw me coming. But yeah, it's in me. It's in me to be an entrepreneur, to see how things work and help them work more efficiently, to help you work more efficiently in your business. I don't have a program to put you in that says this is how you do your business. I can show you how to do a business. Negotiations, networking, collaborations, partnerships. You can do that on a job, you can do that at church, you can do that as an entrepreneur. Whatever I teach you, you can use in your personal life as well. You have friends and y'all get together to go on trips or to do outings or to have a meal. You network, you collaborate, you have a meeting. Okay, we had brunch over here, we're going to have brunch over there. Okay, we had a vacation over there, we're going to go over here. Networking is all around you. Being an entrepreneur is in you. Speaking up for yourself is what I would call the entrepreneurship lifestyle. Have a say in your life. Have a say in how it turns out. Don't be a person who regrets not taking a chance on yourself. I'll bet on me all the time. I've lost some money betting on me, but I wasn't mad at me. I said, man, we could have did better. We'll try that again. Try it a different way. Try it a little later. Now, I don't know. Tamika, tell me what you're working on in your business. Are you working? Are you looking to be an entrepreneur at your job, or are you in a business? Give me where you are. Kind of let me check your temperature. And honey, if you want to play along, let me know where you are in business to keep the conversation going. And I'm gonna drink some water. I think my mouth is a little dry. Entrepreneurship as a lifestyle is not something that's accepted because you're not starting out making money out the gate. Like a job, you work 2 weeks or maybe at most 30 days before you get a check. As an entrepreneur, it doesn't necessarily work like that. I'm a former corporate climber and now I am a business and I'm in business for myself. It's just me and sometimes yes. Do I have tips? You know what? I'm gonna stop right in the middle of that. Yes, ma'am. We're gonna talk automation. Any process that you're doing in your business that you can automate, automate it. What would be those things? Tell me what you're having trouble managing, but I'll keep talking in the meantime. But tell me what you're having trouble or what you're finding most overwhelming. Looking at email is overwhelming. I could be in email all day if I let myself. I can be on social media all day and be non-productive. I can be on social media all day and be productive, or I can be non-productive. You know, you can't, right? Management. A lot of it boils down to discipline. So if I have to write a paper, I already know I have to. My phone, the screen is black on my phone because if I see it light up, if I hear it ding, and it's on silent too. So I turn my phone face down and on silent, not because I'm not going to check later, but because I want to check everything every time. What did they say? Well, who responded to them? And what was that? And you can get caught up and distracted. I know that there are certain people that if I talk to them on the phone, we have a great conversation and I'm not going to want to end it. I got people that it seemed like we've only been on the phone for 10 seconds and it's been an hour. I can't talk to you. I have a paper to do. And announcing to everybody, don't bother me because I got stuff to do. That's a distraction. Just do it. Don't tell people. Just do it. When you talk to them, they say, oh, I called you. You didn't pick me up. I was working on a paper. Do you want to hear about it? I was doing a marketing strategy. Do you want to hear about it? It's not like when you were at work in a meeting and you had your phone up under the table. Oh, yeah, bump the typos, honey. I'm not worried about perfection. We can figure it out. And I think you did okay. I don't even know if you had a typo there. But tell me what things that you have trouble managing. Being able to schedule social media posts, those are good. Social media, Facebook didn't have that at first. We were using a Hootsuite. Now, every kind of animal. You got MailChimp and um, Monkey, Survey Monkey, and anyway. So social media has a feature in it now that it didn't have before, where you can schedule your post, not on your personal wall, because your personal wall is not for business. That's for live interaction. Unless you use Hootsuite, then they do that. But I encourage you to engage when you're on social media, post things for information, but you can schedule through your group and you can schedule through your fan page and you can schedule, I think you can schedule 3 months in advance. So that'll help you with time. You know what information you want to put out there, schedule it so you don't have to post it every single day. But show up if you want to online, but you're not having to come up with the idea that day and wait for responses. If you're meeting with people, and I know one thing that people get caught up in is what time works good for you. Well, this time works good for me. What time works good for you? And you're volleying back and forth trying to make an appointment. I use setmore.com. It's free. And everything that I tell you all about has a free feature. The reason I recommend free is because free allows you to not risk your money resource while you are learning. You may think you're a quick learner. I thought I was a quick learner. If you signed up on Eventbrite, we know Catherine's not a quick learner in some areas, and I have to accept that. I didn't see them switch things up on me. I didn't see it. So I have to get into action and make sure that, these people who reached, because I was like, wow, people registered. I thought no one registered, right? So I have to go and check their tutorials. How do you have time to take all these webinars and tutorials? And you schedule it. Schedule 1 day a week to be your business development day. That means no appointments for personal, no appointments with the client. That is your training day. And you don't have to do it every week. That could get a little overwhelming. So maybe the first Friday of every month is your training day. The second Friday, you go out to lunch with a friend. The third Friday, you do some more, you do reading. You check out some stuff from the library, free. If you see a book that's out there, check the library. Well, Catherine, the author doesn't get paid if I don't buy the book. Lies, all of them. If there's a book in the library and you read that book, whether it is an ebook or a physical book, that library makes note of it. And the author of that book does get paid for how many times that book has been checked out and read. So don't think that you're not helping that author when you check out a book from the library. The library actually buys books too, if you didn't know that. Let me stop for a second. Okay. I'm not really into having my own business at the moment, but I'm interested in how to better organize and set priorities for future customers. I have expansion plans, but I am constantly struggling with sticking to my schedule. I'm a planner and type A. Oh boy. Get a big idea book, and that's just a notebook. However, you like to keep notes. Tamika, tell me, is it okay? I'm a book designer, book cover designer, barely on social media. I struggle with oh, what part of I think I know what you're saying. So I'm gonna start talking, but you help me out in the comments if I'm missing it. So you're having trouble sticking to a schedule. Is it because there are so many ideas? Because that's what I think that you're saying to me, that you have so many ideas coming at once, divine intervention, divine download, stuff that you feel on fire for right now. If that is what you're saying, the idea of the big idea book is for you to write until you can't write no more on that idea. Because what we don't understand when those ideas pop up, it's like when you first find out that you or someone you know is pregnant. Some people may wait months to make sure that they're pregnant and they're out of the woods of any, miscarriages or anything. So they may be quiet for 3 months. Is that your process with an idea? Do you give it 3 months before you go live, or do you say it as soon as it pops out your mouth? Oh boy, yeah. So then listen, you are in good company and it is overwhelming. And when you learn, hey, that doesn't have to be taken care of right now. Hey, that's a big idea in my head. And I would love to share it with the world. And I did share it with a couple of girlfriends, and they went to do something with it now. No, you shouldn't. Give it 3 months or 6 weeks and just write on it. Take notes on it. What I have found over the years is when I've had an idea and I thought, oh, this idea needs to be done now. I found out that it wasn't quite ready. And I found out by writing that idea out and giving it ideas and deciding what I would do with it. If I had this idea, oh, I could sell it here. I could be over here. I could do this. This person can come in. I got all these ideas, big plan, big plan, big plans. And it wasn't ready yet. I was excited about it. Isn't that good enough? No, that's why we're talking about mental toughness and mental strength and positive intelligence and mental strength, because it's not enough. Having the idea that we're going to have a baby is not enough. If you haven't had a baby, you've helped someone have a baby, or you've been a godparent to a baby, you know somebody who's had a baby, you've been to a baby shower, you know about preparing for this new human, because your business is a new life. It's a separate entity from you. So you take care of it just like you would a separate entity. That baby needs attention. That baby doesn't need to come in here thinking like a 20, 30, 40, 50-year-old. It doesn't. It needs to come in blank and ready to receive instructions until it can walk and crawl and stand on its own. Also, I implemented business hours to help me maintain the boundaries between me and my customers, but I don't stick to it because I'm always on email. Well, it depends. Before I help you beat yourself up, because it sounds like you're giving yourself a tough time. Are you answering emails that could wait? Are you answering emails because you're new in business and it gives you something to do? when you're new in business and you're focusing on what the task is and you're helping people and that's keeping you busy, that's fine. I guess my question more specific is what makes you think that being in your email always is an issue? Even though you set office hours, how did you go about choosing those office hours? Because I think I would choose my office hours best based on when I'm normally in email. So maybe my office hours say 9 to 5, but I'm in email from 5 to 9. So maybe my office hours need to be 5 to 9. Or is it that office hours is when you can take the phone call? So I guess I'm wondering why did you make the office hours that you did, and why do you feel like you're always in email? Okay. Well, and you feel like you're burning out. 3 years is a good time to feel like you're burning out. So you're right on schedule. You're right on schedule. So now you're at the point you don't like it. It sounds like I don't want to be in email all the time. So your discipline comes in and you have to not do it. You have to not do it. CJ, with getting organized, it's a little bit by a little bit. Um, pick one thing to be organized with and start with another thing. And it's not organizing like how we do our drunk drawer. Our junk drawer, like where you stuff everything out of the way when company comes. Organizing is saying, well, I want all of these things in this drawer, but is there a caddy? Can I organize this drawer where everything is easy to spot when I look in here? Do I need another space? Why do I even have this here? And getting organized is more you spend more time thinking about it than you do actually doing it. So if you play chess, Rubik's cubes, or puzzles of any kind, you sit back and look at it before you approach it. You may touch it a little bit, back up, touch it a little bit, back up. You play chess, you make a move, and your partner takes forever to make their move because they're thinking about it. So, since you've been doing it, what makes you not stick to your schedule? Do you feel like, okay, the type A personality, you want to get it done? So, you embrace that. I'm a type A personality and I really want to get this done. So, put those things on your to-do list tomorrow. What are you doing? What are you not doing with your time when you're always in email? What are those things that you want to be doing, Tamika, that you're not doing because you're always in email getting those things done? And I'm sure your clients think you're amazing. She always delivers ahead of time. But what are you not doing? What is something you want to do that you're not doing because you're always in email? Yeah, yeah, you set a high expectation. So then work on your expansion plan. It's really about doing it. So stick to your schedule. And do you have an outgoing email? What I have is the vacation responder in Gmail is my auto reply to every email. And Tamika, you may have received it when we were communicating via email last week. That is my automatic response to everyone, whether I am in email or not. And the reason I put that in place is one reason that you're talking about now is to make my client feel like I'm always there for them. But I'm not. I am, but I'm not physically. So my outgoing email says something to the effect of, "Thank you. I see you, and I will get back to you in a short period of time." So you could say, "Thank you for reaching out to me. Your email is very important. It has been received, and I will respond to you within 24 to 48 hours. If it's immediate, my office hours are from 9 to 5. You can call me by phone at this number, and I'm ready to take calls during that window of time." I've gotten better. It takes practice, Tamika. It takes practice. That's why my phone is on silent and I turn it face down. Because if I see the phone ring after 5 o'clock, I used to, excuse me. When I saw the phone Because you weren't ready to think of it yet. You were thinking it, it's in there. But just set yourself up. You working through the night, work on your expansion plans. Stick to your schedule. But your email response makes the person on the other end feel like you saw them. The other thing is, since you have office hours, I'm going to use 9 to 5. Hours are from 9 to 5. Check all the emails from the previous day. That way, your type A personality stays intact. The expectation that you get back to them right away stays intact, and you're able to feel okay, guilt free, and you work within the boundaries you've set in place. And when it's 5 o'clock, quitting time, make sure you're not where they can get to you. If you have email on your phone, take it off. Why would you do that? Because you're going to answer the email if you do that. Or turn the notifications off on your phone. Don't completely take the app off your phone, because I know some people who use their phone for everything, but take the notifications off. If you email tongue tied. If you have gotten notifications from Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube and email, your phone is always ding, bling, dinging, right? Get rid of all the notifications. Only go when you want to go, because the push notifications, it's like forcing you to go somewhere when you don't want to go. They came. I saw people there. I didn't show up and engage. I see other people's pages engaging. And you mentioned about not being on social media that much. Well, do you think that you need to be on social media? Because we have so many options with marketing and getting the word out about what we're doing. People are on sites like alignable.com, and they don't have to go on social media. LinkedIn is sort of like sugar-free social media, so you can go on there and not get too hooked. Um, you have email. You can and Google allows you to schedule emails now. So if you have a newsletter and you don't want to get an additional service, and you already have your contacts in Google, write your email and send it out. You can send it out as a blind copy, or if you want to personalize it, you can send it out to each individual person with their name in it, then schedule it to go out at a later date. That was something I just discovered like a couple of weeks ago. So scheduling things that can be scheduled, um, automation where you can automate it. Like someone wants to book an appointment with you. Here's my set more link. Get on my calendar. Choose whatever date works for you. Whatever you see open works for me, and that takes out the volley. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, you're gonna have to get that social media under control for yourself, because when you expand, people are out here on social media. So while we do it our own way, we also have to be able to meet people where they are. You don't have to live on social media, but if I meet you on social media, lead me to your email list. That's the most important thing. You want people on your email list. I scheduled this event on Eventbrite because I want your email list. I want to always be able to connect with you. I don't want you to lose contact with me because one of us deactivates our Facebook, or right now, people are practicing Lent, and they're not on social media. So they're not on my event because they're not on social media to see that I posted an event on social media. And then if I do post an event on social media, they're not coming if they do see it. If I email it out, because they have their own personal thing going on. But as a business owner, you want to reach people all kinds of ways, because you don't always know what holiday is going on and who's practicing what, and who's social media cleansing. You don't know. So how do you keep in touch with your clients outside of social media is what's most important. But yeah, figure out, maybe check your social media at 3 times a day. I threw out 8 and 12 earlier, but pick 3 times to check in, to see what people are saying, if anybody's saying anything. And then we can stick with me, Tamika. We got more, because there's a lot of benefit in being on social media, the world of hashtags, the world of keywords, the world of industry. So you're a book cover designer. You want people who want to write a book. That could be any industry. Somebody who wants to have a podcast, because that's what I do. I would say, well, if you want to write a book, I know who can design the cover of your book. You see? Post your link if you have a website or social media that we can check out. Tamika, post that. So my point is, you're on the right track. You're supposed to be overwhelmed. You're supposed to have questions, and there's a way to fix it and be more efficient and still show up, because apparently you want your clients to feel well taken care of. With your type A personality, you want people to know that you have their back and that they're not at it alone and that they didn't give you their money and you've run off. So it's a trust thing. It's making sure my customers think of me when it's time to design another book cover. So I get what you're doing, and it's time to shift. It worked in the beginning. Probably, I know when I started, I didn't have anything to do but podcasts, find interviews and do interviews. And then I wanted to do TV, where I can't find interviews and do interviews all day. I have to make room for the shift. And I tell my husband this all the time. When you change one thing, you change everything. And when you change one thing that changes everything, you have to make adjustments. So, Tamika, in your case, you're going to change your schedule. Like, you're going to actually stick to your schedule so you can work on your expansion plan. No one is going to be slighted or cheated or left out because you're doing that, if that's what you're telling yourself. Stick to your hours. Do the automatic response. I don't know what other email services do, but Gmail has a vacation responder in settings. Use that as your automatic reply. No, you're not on vacation. You just want an automated message to go out. On your voicemail, say the same thing that you say in your reply message in email. So if I say thank you so much for your email, I would say thank you so much for your call. Um, I check my voicemail 3 times a day at 8, 12, and 8, or whatever your times are. And if it's urgent, send an email. I may see that faster than being able to get back to your phone call, but let your voicemail tell them what to expect. And you don't have to, because if you told me after giving me all this time, I would think, well, she's telling me I'm getting on her nerves. Well, that might rub me the wrong way. And some other people might say, well, okay, that's good. You got new office hours. So people will take it different ways, but you don't have to say anything. Just do it. They just want what they paid for, and you're going to make sure they get that. And you just want to give them what they paid for and expand. Give yourself what you want. That's part of self care, making sure you don't have resentment in being a business owner, making sure that you don't feel like, man, I shouldn't have left my job, or I shouldn't have started this mess. I don't care how much fun it was, when I started, but now it's a pain in the butt. So I think I've kept us on here pretty good. I think I talked real good. I had another program to tell you about. Positive intelligence was the one, and it's really about meditation. It's about stopping for a moment and centering yourself so that you're able to expand your business, to expand your brand. Yes, Tamika, get on Facebook, because I have a group called Expand Your Brand. So get on Facebook. Let's connect. Honey, if you're still on, are you still on there? Can you post for me? Can you give her any of the links to connect with me on Facebook, please? And thank you. And Tamika, if you have a link, please post it in the comments. I would like to see it and connect with you. But the other thing was art of breathing. So I gave you PQ. I keep forgetting where mirror window camera. So anyway, you can go fast or you can go slow. But when you do this, and I'm doing this in front of you, but you can put your fingers in your lap. And you probably already been doing PQ reps. Dust something off your hands. Feel your hands. But I'm gonna tell you, when I started this, I realized that I was not giving myself that much attention. I'm waiting on my husband to rub my feet or something, but give yourself some attention. And you'll actually release the energy of wanting to, give someone a negative piece of your mind. The art of breathing, the art of living, excuse me, is the art of breathing, but the art of living is the organization. I went on a retreat, but it was at home a couple of weekends ago. And we were at home. Oh, He said, I will try. And we were at home and I was able to do 3 days of this retreat, 3 hours each day. And the importance of being in business and staying in business is simple as breathing. So Tamika, do this with me. I make my husband do it already. So he'll probably automatically do it. But for you, Tamika, we're going to do what they call bellows breath. And let's see if I can get in the window here so you can see both of my hands. So you're going to have your hands to your side and everything is going to be breathing in and out of your nose. So when you breathe in, you'll reach your arms up. And when you breathe out, you're going to drop your arms. And it's real quick. It's like this. It's just like you're throwing your arms up. Yay, yay, yay. Right? Okay. So before we do that, we're just going to inhale deeply, exhale deeply. And even when we finish this, you're going to feel good. And I say try it when we get offline and use it every day. One thing is just to breathe in and out your nose 10 times. And that's one exercise. But transitioning into the yay, 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 we're going to breathe in. So inhale, exhale. Of course, you breathe out of your nose. Inhale. I don't know how to keep up with that. So let's try it again. We're going to inhale, exhale. There we go. So you put your hands in loose fist. You're not going to be tight. You're not like that. Oh, okay. I will get the links. Okay. I'll get them. No worries. I thought you had Facebook up. That's all right. So your hands are to your side here. And like I said, you're going to breathe in your nose when you go up, out of your nose when you come down. Let's do a few of those. Are you ready? And relax. The exercise, you do that for 3 cycles. So you may do that like 8 to 10 times. And if your head is feeling a little light, that is normal. Don't get up and run away. Just sit still. Okay? Be still. But this, it helps you. It helps open up your lungs. I mean, breathing, that's what it does, because when you get done with a surgery and they want to make sure that you can breathe properly before you go home, they give you a machine where you suck in as much as you can or breathe out as much as you can. So there are breathing exercises out there, but we use them for like life or death, not for maintenance, not for stamina. And if you get more oxygen to your brain, the dumb spirit won't fall on us as much as it can. The dumb spirit can get on any of us, me, you, anybody, and we're not completely there. Someone says something to you that just makes you, and it does sound like a sigh. It does sound like a sigh. Well, keep doing that. Take that with you. Good. Just imagine if you had a 20-minute exercise every day. You do, and you sleep better. You can do the breathing before you go to bed, and you do it when you wake up. Think about this. So I'm getting up in the morning, and I said to myself, okay, it's Monday. I want to have a good Monday. So I get up and I start doing my PQ reps, and at the same time and while you're breathing, don't think about anything. You're not thinking about your day. You're thinking about, I'm breathing. I want to hear my breath. I want to feel the ridges of my hand. Breath, breath, feel breath. Just be in it, okay? And it does help you feel more relaxed. So you might have gone to sleep feeling anxious, but if you lay in the bed and do the inhales and the exhales, you might not fall right off to sleep, but you'll be more inclined to go to sleep because your body is ready. Your body is, it's out of wind, it's out of gas. When someone says you're full of hot air, I think that's what they were talking about. So you get all the hot air out, and by the time you get to the 10th breath, you feel cooler air coming out too. So you start out with hot breath out of your nose or hot wind out of your nose, and it gets cooler and cooler and cooler. You have gotten rid of all of your hot air. You feel better. And it has helped my posture be better. And I do still slump, but it has helped me without me being conscious of it, because I would rather just slump. Okay. So let me see right quick before we get off from here. So Tamika, do you have your social media link to share? It's okay if you can't find it right this second. Imma give you my link, and we're gonna go from there. Here's the one for the coaching fan page. I post things there. And then this is for expand your brand, because if you are a book cover designer, then you need to hang out with me because everybody wants to write a book. I know you know that by now. Everybody wants a radio show and everybody wants to write a book. Everybody wants a talk show. Everybody wants to make a record. Here we are. So those are the links. Let me know if you have any trouble getting through. So hopefully I'll see you next week. Tamika, subscribe to YouTube so that you get the notifications. Oh, okay. I missed it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. We're going to connect. Thank you so much, Tamika, for being here. Thank you, CJ Honey, for helping me out and being in my audience and making sure I can be heard and seen and helping keeping the conversation going. For those that are listening to the replay, thank you so much. And leave comments. I'll be happy to come back later on. Oh, you got to get on Facebook. Let me get you my Instagram then, because I got some Instagram. You got to get on Facebook so you can be in this group. Let me find my Instagram for you. We're going to pop your Facebook cherry today. Come join us. All right. Hold on. Here's my Instagram link. All right. See everyone next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tamika, tell a friend. Bring somebody with you. This is free. I'm giving generously. I would love for you to hire me as your coach, but not because of this session. Not during this session, maybe because of this session. But I want to make sure that I'm giving back to the business community, because there's times when we don't have answers. Sometimes we just need a little bit of information to help us shift. And I hope that I helped you. Hope that you gained something from what has been shared today. Until next week, have a super day.